Hello everybody, and welcome to your first training video on being an EdTech Profile Site Manager. In this first video, what we're going to do is cover updating your staff list. Now, I'm going to log on as a fictitious site manager at the district office. Now, if this is your first time logging on as a site manager, what you want to make sure is that you have the administration tab available. If you do not have the administration tab available, make sure to email me at the web address included with the packet that I sent you dealing with site manager responsibilities and so forth. Also, in that packet are some notes for each of these little training videos, and the things that we're going to cover here in this first video are included in that notes section. So maybe have that out and available for you as we work through this. Okay, to begin to look at my site list, I'm going to choose the Administration tab. And you'll see under System Administration you have User Accounts, School, and User Role Viewer. Most of the time you're going to be looking at the school link. I'm going to go ahead and click the school link. And your school should be listed here. Again, if you're listed at the wrong school, you need to let me know right away. Just email me and I'll get it set to the correct school site for you. Now you have 4 links here: Edit, Manage, View, and View Users. What I want you to do is choose View Users. We'll almost never go to Edit, Manage, or View on the left. We're going to choose View Users. You can see there are a whole bunch of different categories. You're going to always choose View All. We're going to choose View Users. Okay, this particular screen you're going to use a lot. We're going to be able to edit users' email addresses here, look at your site completion status, email login information to users, and we're also going to be able to update our staff list. Now, the first thing we're going to do is add the teachers to the list that aren't there. And we're going to be looking in particular for one individual. His name is Joe Teacher. I think he was nominated for Teacher of the Year last year. Let's see if he's in our list. This is alphabetical. You'll notice the district office list is very long, and there's a reason for that. We'll get to that in just a moment. All right, let's see. T's. Okay, so we're looking for Joe Teacher. TAs, TEs, oh, he should be right here, somewhere between Phil Taylor and Diane Teffateller. And he's not there. So I'm going to need to add Joe Teacher to my list. Now, at this point, I don't know if Joe Teacher actually has an account with EdTech Profile or not. So I'm going to need to search for Joe Teacher. So I'm going to click on my Administration tab again. And this time I'm going to drop down here to User Accounts. I'm going to click on User Accounts. Now, we're going to do a search for Joe Teacher. And the one thing that I will caution you about is the list that we're going to generate is a statewide list. If there are any other Joe Teachers anywhere in the state, they're going to appear in this list. So we want to be very careful about who we assign to a school in Corona Norco. We want to make sure that in fact it is the correct person. Now there are some ways we can tell, and I'll point those out in just a moment. I'm going to search for users. My goodness, look at this. There are 5 Joe Teachers throughout the state. There's one in Visalia, Grossmont. Oh, notice these 2 don't have a district assigned. They've been removed from the staff lists at a particular school site and not reassigned. That's not something that you're going to let happen to you. And we'll talk about removing teachers in just a moment. And here we see Joe Teacher. Oh, look, he's at Clara Barton Elementary, Corona Norco Unified. That must be our Joe Teacher. If we're not certain, one of the ways you can tell, if you're lucky, I'm going to go ahead and click on this Joe Teacher. I'm going to edit his information. And look at here. This Joe Teacher's email address is set to cliffbender@lausd.net. Well, let's see. LAUSD is Los Angeles Unified School District. This is not our Corona Norco teacher. If, however, we do have a teacher that's transferred in from another district, you can reassign them to Corona Norco. You just need to make sure of where they came from. So I would discuss that with the individual before making a change in assignment. We have had site managers who have changed people from other districts into Corona Norco, and it gets a little bit confusing. This Joe teacher, we're going to reassign this individual to the district office. So I'm going to hit edit. And you'll see the individual's information here. You can see their 4-digit ID. You do not have access to their password. What I'm going to do is jump right down here to Set Locations. I click on Set Locations. I'm going to add a user location. And it's important to note that users can be at more than one location. For example, if you have an individual that teaches with adult education and is also a teacher at your site, they're going to be listed under both locations. Now, to set the user location, the first drop down here is the region. Corona Norco is in Region 10. These are CTAP regions. So you'll always set this to Region 10. We're going to choose the county, Riverside. We're going to choose the district, Corona Norco Unified. And finally, we'll choose the school we want to assign the individual to. And in this case, we're going to assign them to the Corona Norco District Office, because that is a site that my fictitious management account is at. So I choose that, and I go ahead and add. Now, since this individual is no longer at Clara Barton, I'm just going to hit the X to remove that. We want to make sure, even when you're removing staff from your list, that you always have a location set there for the staff member. When I'm all done, I'm going to say Done. And now you'll see the current school is set to Corona Norco Unified District Office. Very good. Now if I go back to Administration and School, and View Users, View All again, lo and behold, as I scroll down here to the T's, let's see, where is Joe Teacher? There is Joe Teacher. He's now nicely assigned to this school site. The next part of this is going to be removing individuals that no longer are at your site. Now you'll notice you have a little check mark box down the right-hand side. And the temptation is to just choose the individuals that are no longer at your site and then choose Remove Selected Users from School. Please don't do that. The reason for that is when you remove them from your school, you also remove them from the district. And now their names are just floating out there without being assigned to any particular district. So when you need to remove someone from your school site, what you're going to do is edit their information, and you're going to set their location, and you're going to change their location to the Corona Norco Unified District Office. This person is already here, so I don't need to make a change. But again, if you're removing them from your school site, please set their user location to the district office. That assures that when someone searches for them, they'll still see that that is a Corona Norco employee. And it'll avoid them being assigned to other school districts or a person at another school who's trying to find their staff member. It'll make it a lot easier for them to know they found the right person. What do I do if I have an entirely new teacher that doesn't have an EdTech profile account? You could add users to the EdTech profile, but we don't recommend that you do that. We recommend that you have the individual who does not have an account go ahead and sign into edtechprofile.org, and I'm going to sign out here real quick and show you, and have them create a new account. And individuals who do not have an EdTech profile account can do that by simply choosing Create an Account Now. It's going to prompt them for username and password, and they'll go ahead and set up their account. They'll even assign their location. Make sure to tell them that we're in Region 10 because that can be somewhat confusing for them. With that said, you now know how to update your staff list. So go forth and update your staff list. Make sure your administrative account is working. Email me if you have any questions. Part 2 of the videos will cover updating your staff's email addresses. Thank you very much and enjoy EdTech Profiling.